Hi, in this video, I'm going to teach you how to apply the power rule in finding derivatives. The power rule is the most basic rule that we use when finding the derivative of a function. For instance, if we want to find the derivative of the given function, f of x is equal to 4x cubed minus 3x squared plus 4x plus 6, which is a polynomial function, you can easily get the derivative of this by using the power rule. What is the power rule? So let's start with the basic idea. If the function is expressed as a number a, x raised to some exponent n, the derivative, which is denoted by f prime of x, is simply a n x to the n minus 1. This means that when getting the derivative, you multiply the a with the exponent n, so that's a n, you copy the x, and then the new exponent is 1 less than the original exponent. For example, if the function is equal to 5x to the fourth, then the derivative of this function is equal to 5 times 4, that's an, 5 times 4, we can write it first, 5 times 4, x to the n minus 1, the original exponent minus 1. So 4 minus 1 is equal to 3. But let's write it down first. Then you can simplify is equal to 20x to the third power. Now if there is no number before the x, let's say you have x to the 6. You don't see a number there, but we know that that number is equal to 1. So the derivative is 1 times 6, 8 times n, which is 6. We can write it directly. And then x raised to 1 less than the original exponent. 6 minus 1 is equal to 5. So that's how you do it when there is no number, or the number is not equal to 1. The coefficient of x is not equal to 1. Now for the constant values, for example, we have f of x is equal to 4. How do you get the derivative of f of x? Now if you're already advanced, you know that the derivative of this number, like any number, is always equal to 0. But let's provide a proof using the power rule. Why is it equal to 0? Now take note, 4 is the same as 4x to the 0, because x to the 0 is equal to 1 provided x is not equal to 0. So when you express the 4 as 4x to the 0, you can see it now in the form of ax to the n, where a is 4 and n is 0. So when you apply the power rule, the derivative will be 4 times 0, which is our a times n, that is 0, x to the 0 minus 1. But even if, whatever your expression here, this is already 0, so automatically this will be equal to 0. So for any constant, if f of x is equal to any constant c, the derivative of the function is always equal to 0. Okay? Now let me add more. F of x is equal to 2x. If you're advanced already, you know that the derivative is simply that number 2. Okay, so for any constant times x, 2x, 3x, 4x, f of x, for instance, is 5x. The derivative of this is equal to 5. The reason behind is, again, by the power rule, 5x to the 1, the derivative is 5 times 1, which is 5, x, and then this will be raised to 1 minus 1. And every time the exponent is 1, the exponent after you get the derivative will become 0. And when the exponent becomes 0, x to the 0 is equal to 1. So 5 times 1 is 5. But that's a long way to do. Once you know that there is a constant before x, the derivative of this function is that constant c. So with this basic ideas, we can now get the derivative of functions like 4x cubed minus 3x squared plus 4x plus 6. If you have a sum of, or difference of terms, all you have to do is to get the derivative of each term, and that will be the derivative of the function. So in this one, if we have f of x is equal to 4x cubed minus 3x squared plus 4x plus 6, combining all the things that we have learned, the derivative, which is denoted by f prime, is first 4x cubed. That would be 12 because of 4 times 3, x raised to 2, less 1 from the exponent all the time, minus 3x squared, that's 3 times 2, that is 6x, and then 2 minus 1 is 1. I don't need to write that anymore. Plus 4x, that's a cx. Derivative is the c, so derivative is 4. Plus a constant, derivative of a constant is equal to 0. So this will be 12x squared minus 6x plus 4. And that is the derivative using the power rule. Okay, so a very important note, some students are tempted to simplify this. This is already the simplest form, because sometimes they see that all of the numbers are divisible by 2. They still divide it by 2, which is wrong. Okay, so keep it like that, and that will be the final answer. So what did we learn from this video? Whenever we have a function that follows ax to the n, and you have a sum or difference of this type of terms, all you need to do to find the derivative is apply the power rule. The power rule from ax to the n, it's simply a times n, x raised to n minus 1. And that's how you do the power rule for differentiation. Thank you and goodbye.